Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick. Radiant team pick.
Imber spirit.
Radiant team pick.
Keeper of the light.
Bristleback!
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban.
Witch Doctor.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. 10 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick. Radiant team pick.
Skywrath Mage.
Dire team pick.
Necrophos.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban.
Warchief.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Razor.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Lina.
You may now select your heroes.
Thank you. Yeah, I had a great birthday staying at home, you know, just like other years, but this time we had to stay at home, so there's that. But yeah, this is going to be a great series, I think. Yeah, I'm so ready for this, Dota, and I'm sure that Trent is as well, as we're hopping straight into it. And the panel didn't really seem too confident in VP Prodigy's lineup. Trent, what do you think?
Wasn't a lot of confidence going either way. I feel like I'm leaning a little towards Spirit, I heard they said, but yeah, near the end, I kind of like that idea of like the Bristle being in front, and I can see how they'll make the team fights very difficult with like all this side counter initiation between the Coddle and the Earth Spirit. But the whole part of that is the start of the game for the Bristle. Very much like these Timber Saws, where some games it looks absolutely incredible, and then other games you're just like, wow, this hero feels kind of worthless. So I'm gonna be watching for those neutral camp stacks, I think, in this one.
Yay, that's exciting. Sounds super exciting, watching all the neutral camp stack. Well, what I can tell you is that, you know, the panel leans towards Spirit, and I get that because we have seen Aragon play Lina, and I am not a fan of a mid Lina unless he plays it. Or rather, he is the only one that I've watched it play recently that it actually worked out. Like,
yeah,
he's able to set that
right?
tempo.
I think like 90% of teams would have picked Queen of Pain there. Even if it's the obvious pick, it's still, you know, it's that pick versus Razor for a reason. But they just played this matchup versus Bait, and he took down Denny. I mean, again, it's a like good matchup for the Lina and stuff. But the main problem with Lina right now, and why a lot of teams don't like her, is that her ability to rotate is just like, it's just not as good as a lot of these other heroes that are in the meta right now. Like, you can't screw up. It's a lot harder to execute. Sometimes she needs that little bit of a setup. You compare it to like an Ember out of the mid lane or something, and it's just much easier to move across the map and like get your snowball rolling for the team.
So you're feeling like Team Spirit's lineup is a little bit higher execution needed compared to the lineup of VP Prodigy?
Yeah, I'd say that's fair to say. It's like not only just like execution in the team fights, but also like this whole first 15 minutes to me looks very spooky of like trying to get the right stacks ready for my bristle without the invasion coming through. Like Witch Doctor and Skywrath Mage, one thing that they're both very good at is the second they hit 6, they just want to kill someone. And that could be like either of these supports with any other core, but these two supports together could like smoke up and get a double kill pretty much. So
is there anybody that can't kill?
It's a pretty deadly game from both sides.
Yeah.
Maybe the Earth Spirit, right? You probably don't want to run into him. Maledict is pretty good for those beefier heroes, so maybe even Earth Spirit will go down. If they run into Bristle doing stacks, he'll probably still die at that point in the game too. So I would just be very wary of this early aggression from the VP Prodigy heroes.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how it is going to go down. How would you like to see it laned?
I'll tell you, I wanted the mid-Earth Spirit is what I wanted.
Wow.
I've seen Aragon, you know. I've seen him messing around. That's like, how great is it that you have like the #1 Earth Spirit player, at least currently, it feels like Immersion's like the big player. Yeah. And then you have this guy who's willing to play at core. Like, that's awesome. What more can you ask for in drafting?
The traditional ones. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
Prophet mid.
He does it all.
That a lot. He does it all. Apart from Queen of Pain.
I think the lanes should just be pretty set. I guess the only question will be, is the Bristle going top or bottom? Like some teams like to try and like secure safe lane farm in the top lane, but I think with the way their heroes are set, wow, I like this drawing here that they're going for Dyrachyo.
That's the farming pattern, I think, for Dyrachyo. Oh, he's drawing birds.
Those are birds, I think. That's beautiful. But indeed, he'll just be going bottom. But we have pairings, right? We have Skywrath and Centaur, a very famous laning duo, and we have Coddle and Bristle, another lovely pair that like to stick it out together. And then we have the Necrophos versus the Ember, which is this classic counter pick for the mid lane, where the Necrophos just absolutely dumpsters the Ember Spirit and makes his game super sad.
Yeah, Misha is already on his way to the bottom lane. For some reason, and I don't know why, but I only see all the Radiant things on the minimap. It's very confusing.
That's good. Did you press F1?
Maybe.
Gotta check all those hotkeys.
You know, I'm new to this, okay? I might have pressed all the buttons in the wrong order. Yeah, that was this. I see everything now. I feel empowered. Excellent. I feel empowered. Are we gonna have some rune action? Or is everybody just happy getting theirs?
I mean, Afterlife up top will just be happy if he gets one. Just like, please don't come up here and see I'm one hero. And it looks like they're not going to bother invading. So yeah, I think it's going to be boring runes. But if you're bottom, you're definitely going in, right? You got Bristle. Let's go.
Yeah, you have to. And they are. But at the same time, Save has got a lot of mana to use. And even though, he's going for concussive shot first, as that is the thing to do, it's still quite annoying.
Oh, thanks for the stick charges, dude. Yeah, keep going me. Look, he wants more. He's not even going to run away. I'm not going to die.
Get all those stacks up, you can endlessly spam your abilities. Alright, well, looks like we had a fairly even rune distribution. Actually, is there still a rune there? There is! Okay.
Yeah, they end up chasing him out, I think, up top, right? Yeah. So.
Yeah. Still 2 for 2, though. And we do have the Bristleback on the safe lane at the moment, laning together with the Coddle. And Immersion is here together with Old Afterlife against Epileptic Kit and Ein.
Yeah, so he's got the Orb of Venom to start. He's going to look to see what the camp situation is, and his Sentry will cast the one blocking his tower camps. That's big for the Necro, but he's being gone on. Oh, it's such free harass. That's like nothing. Just one bola and a cask. Oh, and he lost his courier too? Oh, his little mushroom guy was coming up.
I love that from Team Spirit. They all have the mushrooms.
Oh, no, not Slacks.
That's Slacks. Oh, wait, he deserved that. Let's be real. Ooh, Ein is actually taking quite the beating here. He does throw out a cask. Bounces around a little bit, gives him a safe escape. But he's got to be careful there. Continuous punching is annoying to deal with, and it does burn him through his salve. A little more regen down the drain.
It looks like pretty similar action. Yeah, exactly. That's the big question, because the same thing's kind of happening down bottom. There's some spam coming out from the Skywrath, a little bit of the Coddle, trying to hold him back with the light. I'm going to guess it's probably going to be the Witch Doctor. It's either going to be the Witch Doctor or the Earth Spirit, because Immersion's going to make the call of, all right, I'm going in, and he's either going to kill the Witch Doctor first or he's going to die for it.
At least I think that if Witch Doctor dies, Epileptic Kid will be able to clean up.
Well, one
There's
thing
going to be a
that's great.
trade either way, right? You think?
Yeah. And he's cleaning up that camp. So this was unblocked by the Radiant, and then Dire were just like, yeah, okay, we can farm this. Sounds all right.
Might as well, and they block it for future use. No longer there either. In the meantime, the harassment battle continues on the bottom lane. I think this is just a great lane for Skywrath to have a stick in.
Yeah,
It's
it really
like,
is.
sure, that Racho has got a Kotl that gives him mana constantly, but I feel like Save has got like the same kind of effect with that stick charges that he can build up.
It's just so fast, and they don't have like a slow to like threaten the Skywrath Mage, right? So you can just permanently play around the range of goo, and that's kind of like, how do you die in this lane as Skywrath Mage? I guess you overcommit is the answer.
Yeah, if you're get close to a kill, like the typical way where a Bristleback gets kills early on, right? Oh, the casket throws on top, but it doesn't bounce around, so unlucky for Ein.
Yeah, that was really close.
Yeah, I thought it would hit. Still on immersion. Oh. Bottom lane again. I mean, it's just harass and exchanging of regen, if you will. In the meantime, in the middle lane, haven't really talked about that one yet because that one should be. Nobody should die, and both are having a decent lane. Both are sitting on 15-14 last hits, and FN is getting a little bullied here, and Ericon doesn't have enough mana to pursue that. But I mean, that should be a stable lane.
Yeah, level 6, right? We're always going to look for that rotation from the Earth Spirit to try and get a kill with the Laguna Blade, but they're also going to be looking for that VP Prodigy. I think the way that these lanes are staying so static, this seems like it's pretty good, actually, for VP Prodigy, because I feel like the Radiant, again, are just way more reliant on stacks, and there's no time for anyone to go make stacks for this Bristle right now.
No, that's true. And that's what you mentioned at the start, like you wanted to see those stacks come out. I mean, as not exciting as it sounded, looking at those stacks and getting those stacks up for the Bristleback is super important, but Immersion is being kept top. We have Misha being kept bottom. And actually, even for an Earth Spirit, normally you want to rotate around, right? And he can't even do that.
No, he's maybe able to get something going here, though. Save himself. Oh, he's so dead.
Very dead. First blood on the board. Epileptic Kid running away from Afterlife, taking quite a beating. Has got, well, some stick charges, only 2. But every little bit matters. In the meantime, bottom lane, the Racho will be dropping here as well. Misha only left to secure the rune for a second, comes back just to find his Bristleback and safe lane Bristle dead.
Instant double tips?
Yeah.
This is good laning synergy. Making sure you're tipping the dead guy together. Really assert your dominance here. This is your strategy, right? Is the asserting dominance in the laning stage. No matter what you think the matchup's like, just assert dominance. Try and make them afraid.
If you're the one dictating the movement and the tempo, it doesn't matter if it is in the game, like macro on the game, or if it's just in the lane, you're the one controlling how well the lane is going. So assert dominance, super important.
That's where all those victories come from.
Yes. Same thing as for the runes. We have Team Spirit being a little bit more successful there on the runes. Ein will fall, came a little bit too close and just wanted to see if he could get a rune, and he couldn't.
And with that kill, like, that's a really good window for Immersion to, like, he has a choice now, right? Do I try and go for this kill on Epileptic Kid, which is hard, or do I run mid because my Lena's just about to be 6? We're on that wave at like 5.5 minutes. So
I mean, I was
nice
impressed
moment
by that slide of fist dodge. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, that was nice. I kind of brushed that over. That was pretty.
Yeah, that was like very quick. And then the slide of fist was like super short, but it was enough to make sure that Immersion missed that and basically make sure that he lives there on the Ember Spirit. We have the wave being cut on the bottom lane so that the Bristles maybe having to farm on the tower. I think he's going to be fine with that. Is a Kotl able to stop the lane from being cut?
Why? Yeah, why are they doing this? Well, why do you care if it's being cut? Because now this frees the Kotl. Because now he can stack the Ancients and the Bristle still gets all the same farm.
Ooh, FN, mid lane activity! You can drain Aragon all you want, but that magic damage is still going to hurt.
That wasn't too bright indeed. So no supports needed. They had that defensive ward too, so they were kind of committing to try and make sure that FN will be fine in the mid, but loses the straight 1v1.
Oh, a roll can't dodge that one, Epileptic Kid, but it doesn't do the thing that Immersion wanted it to do. Save, teleported to the top to help out his top lane, and they do get the kill on Afterlife. Sure, Immersion's able to teleport out, but that hurts.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
What we heard earlier from the panel was that, you know, these from you as well, actually, like these early stages are really important to see if Spirit can get like their first items up and how they are gonna survive the laning stage and stuff. How do you feel it's going so far? Because it's fairly even, but who does that benefit?
Well, they've gotten a lot of space now with the way that like the Skywrath got forced to TP top and the center started creeps cutting. So now you suddenly have a triple stack of Ancients here, ready for your Bristle, and he's closing in on Vanguard, right? He's making his way. So yeah, all's good. I mean, you also got the 1v1 kill in the mid lane, right? Which is obviously going to help a lot for this Lena's rotations to start off.
Yep, mango trees. All right, Trent, you've got a Coddle in the game. But you also have a Bristle back. Are you a base planter, or are you not a base planter in this scenario?
I generally favor the base plant. Do they have any good vision on the Dire side? Not really. Maybe you could get away with like a sneaky ward. I just like having all the mana, man. I don't know. It's not really worth it. Putting super deep.
No,
That's
I'm a
risky
base
take
as well. Ooh, immersion! He tried to roll away, but can't do that. Great movements from VP Prodigy as they also are able to take out the peskier Spirit. And immersion is having a rough game.
He was gathering information. He's like, well, they're either ganking mid or they're still up here somewhere. Turned out they were still up there.
Yeah.
Well, we'll go with that.
And Erga getting forced to teleport out. We do.
Oh,
have,
here we go. This is sneaky.
Yeah, they want FN. They need
that
FN.
courier was not sneaky. What? Where was that?
I don't know why it was there.
What on earth? That was Bristleback's courier.
What?
Yes, that was his ring of health.
Is that right?
Running through the river.
Oh, I know how that happens. You sent the courier with your hotkeys to pick up your ring of health from the secret shop, right? And then you send it back, and then it takes the stupidest route because it can't fly yet. But no, that's not it, because he can fly. Well, then I don't know.
Yeah,
Team Spirit, they got 5 heroes sitting in this middle lane. They want to brawl, they want to fight, they find a vent, but it looks like we also have VP Prodigy wanting to fight. They stampede in. A lot of damage being done to Aragon, and it will not save him. He dies. They did get a nice Laguna Blade out. Like, it's a 1-for-1 trade. I find that still in favor of VP Prodigy. They had less people there, right?
Yeah. That's pretty much the best way to count it at that point.
Yeah.
Now we're closing in on the outpost too, so they have regained the top one after Immersion's death, and the bottom one should be controlled by Team Spirit as well. So we got 30 seconds to figure something out with VP Prodigy. You do not want to lose these outposts. It looks like no one's going to rotate top, so Ein's fine. He'll just be able to handle this back to the team.
Yeah. A nice 1 versus 1 split. We see a lot of teams put a lot of effort into well, shutting down the enemy outpost, if you will, or at least, you know, making sure you control it yourself. How important do you feel like that is, especially the 10-minute one?
The 10-minute one I feel like is like the big one, especially is like I feel like support players probably feel it the most because one of you wants the tome, right? And if you don't get that 150, it feels even more awful if you don't get it.
Afterlife,
yeah,
he's already got the curse on. He still had a lot of stick charges. He gets himself up a little bit, but I don't think it's gonna save his life. Killing spree for the Witch Doctor.
That was before Sky ult too. I can just take down one of the harder heroes to kill.
Yeah, I mean, that was obviously tag team, including the Ember Spirit, Epileptic Kid coming in with that gank. But it's just a little bit of a taste of what could come from VP Prodigy. They have so much burst.
They still have the ulti here from Ein as well, so if Ergon's not careful, or if they like try this dive from Immersion or something, you can turn around just because you have Maledict. And Sky's here.
Bristle's fairly close by, but it looks like Team Spirit kind of want to fight. Look at Immersion just sitting on the sidelines having that Invis rune.
Yeah, they're holding the Coddle ult too, so like they can't really commit on the Ergon or else they'll just get Willow.
Oh, life cycle wave misses. A little bit unfortunate there. The Bristleback thinking he's invincible. Base everybody out. Nice Will-O-Wisp indeed, but the Stampede will make sure everybody is home. Safe, all clear. Afterlife still taking quite a beating, but it looks like Immersion is the only one to die here from Save's bolts.
Oh my god, that was like the luckiest cast. Maybe he targeted on the Lina, but all I saw was like a cast bounce hit on the Ergon when he was going for the 2-man stun following that Will-O-Wisp. So that was very well done by Ein. We'll just give him the credit, however it happened.
Yeah. I mean, his positioning was good. I always feel like when you're Witch Doctor and you are playing against a Coddle, you have to be very careful not to be stuck in the Will-O-Wisp, and obviously you kind of see where you need to be, but your ultimate doesn't have a very long range without the talents. It's tricky positioning for that as well. I believe the kid wanted to go for that right. I mean, that's a tanky target, and he has got some backup as well. I believe the kid has to be careful. But he has a spirit out, so he's fine. In the meantime, on the bottom lane, a little bit of activity happening there as well. Afterlife able to run away, getting drained, but no.
I think they tried to scythe DM by the looks of it.
That's not really the target you want to scythe, though.
Well, in some ways it is.
Sometimes,
but
sure.
obviously, that was double ults too. That was Laguna and Scythe. They weren't able to bring him down.
Boy, that hurts. And it looks like Spirit was a base planter. I like that.
That definitely comes back to that idea of just like Lena's ability to like go for these ganks. Just like how important the snowballing is. Like instantly Aragon's up top. He hits the Faded Brosa, which is nice because before that Yules, you at least need something to close some gaps. But it's an Ember, so not gonna be able to get that kill for free.
Nope. But yeah, they feel the need to pressure and to continue on with setting the tempo. But it looks like VP Prodigy is kind of doing the same thing, but they do it while avoiding Team Spirit.
Centaur is so good. Like this hero is just amazing in some drafts. Like how many offlaners are that good at pushing towers anymore? I feel like they all just get nerfed, and then this guy just walks up, presses retaliate, and absolutely blows it up.
Yeah.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
But you do have to build up the stacks. That's annoying. Right?
Yes.
So they don't come for free.
Well, you walk into another tower.
That's fair. I mean, the towers are your friend as a Centaur. That is definitely true. Especially later on, you're super tanky and you can take those towers. But tier 1 towers are more your friends than tier 2 towers. Because I do find that the tier 2 and tier 3s hurt a little bit too much. Just stand there and tank them.
How did Afterlife just get down here? Am I missing?
He walked. And he kind of take you out, but he can't. Interrupted by DM. Is there enough damage? Are they trying to... well, I think they got enough damage to take him down. Maybe not. They're looking for him. They know he cannot TP out. He keeps healing up. There is a Razor coming as well to help out, but he's very far away. No help coming for Afterlife, though. And he'll drop. And actually, the Razor never even showed up, so...
It's a long walk to then see one creep wave. They run away. They scanned him in the tree line too, which was really nice. I'm surprised they actually got there in time. And now they still have Stampede to like kind of make their way back in here. Double D-ward action here from Misha though. He's getting some of this vision control knocked out. There's another sentry he hit, in fact.
Quite value there. So we have 2k gold in favor of VP Prodigy. They are still... They have the most kill potential, which is a little weird for me to say because the Lina and the Necrophos are such a good tag team as well. But I find that because the kills are in favor of VP Prodigy and we see how effective they are to blow people up, especially with the curse from the Witch Doctor, they just feel like they can do more.
Yeah, they really do. I think another problem is that like this Radiant side Bristle is a lot worse than the Dire side. Because when you're Dire, it's a lot easier to like force yourself to control this area. Whereas Radiant, you can like never farm these Ancients. So Dire gets like 2 Ancient camps and Radiant get like half of one.
Smoking Mark Spirit. I mean, that's the typical, cast a curse. It's been a while since I did that one. Saying Spirit can't do anything and instantly go for a smoke to do something.
Well, they didn't do anything.
So. No, they didn't. But they did
You were
smoke,
right.
They did something. But they didn't really find anybody.
They did nothing. While VP Prodigy continue to farm and secure their lead.
That's true. That's true. They have a little bit more map control as well compared to Spirit, I find. So they have more farm overall to take down. Actually, now Aragon is taking that ancient stack that you're talking about. They're waiting on the high ground. They want someone to walk up that high ground. Walk up to their triangle and try to farm. They're just looking for a pickup, looking for a kill, but I think that is something VP Prodigy is aware of, considering nobody comes to defend that tier 1 top. They do end up going in on the middle. They find the Razor, but it's not enough. Again, Laguna Blade and the Scythe. Not enough to kill FN, and it is Lina that dies. It is Immersion that dies.
So he didn't panic with the Stampede, because he could have Stampeded the second he saw like the Necrophos was really close to the Razor, but if you do that, the Necro's still going to get off the Scythe. So instead he waited until the Scythe was locked down. They got off the Laguna, but there was so much follow-up damage that they could have gotten, but they couldn't quite reach it in time because the Stampede came out instantly after the Scythe ended. So nice play there from DM to secure his core's survival, and again ruin this Lina's time, and once more kind of harken back to why this hero, we don't get to see her too much.
Yeah. Yeah, it just feels because he can't, like he's trying and we feel him trying. Oh, Afterlife. He's getting silenced up. Is there enough damage to take him out with Epileptic Kit there as well? Yes, there is. Immersion there, too late to do anything. But yeah, we can tell that Team Spirit and that Aragon is trying to be active and trying to help out and get kills and stuff, but it just feels extra painful when they don't get it.
Yeah, we talk a lot about the reactivity of the Radiant heroes in terms of engagements and the way they can like spread themselves during team fights, but that's the kind of the beauty of the Centaur War Runners, that you don't even have to look at all the other heroes. It's just one guy. You just press R. Very high skill.
Easy hero, yeah. I mean, we talked about it, how the lineup for VP Prodigy was a little bit easier to execute. So, you know, especially Centaur, press R. And sometimes when you're taking their towers, you press to retaliate, you know, that too.
Oh, they're back at it again. Cooldowns, I mean, it's almost back, right? Yeah, it's like 7 seconds until they have the Stampede again, 20 until the Storm. So it's not like you're really capitalizing on anything by just rushing in again. It kind of feels like you're just running into the brick wall once more. They're going to try and commit for this bottom tier 1. I think they're trying to take this area. I think that's what they want. Like, they're just shoving themselves in here to try and dominate by taking these towers and try and control the Ancients. Because there's not a lot of Roshan threat this game either from Dire. It's not like they have this like big Rosh hero, so they don't have to be too worried about like leasing this space over to the enemy. It feels like this is actually the more valuable part of the map, which is kind of unusual in Dota because usually it's Rosh, right?
Yeah. But do you feel like Team Spirit needs to make these movements? Like, are they on the timer?
Like what would their heroes be doing right now, I guess is the question, right? Like, they have heroes that they want to be scything people, they want to be Lagunaing people. And Bristol, sure, he wants to be like hitting creep waves and stuff, but like they kind of feel like they need this interaction with the enemy team to be getting the value of their heroes right now. I don't think you want to be like passively farming, so they do need to make these actions. I don't know if they need to be like these specific actions, but they definitely need to be doing something that is crossing the river.
I mean, probably they don't need to make these specific actions because they haven't been really successful, so they should do something different instead. The Rasho is going to get some help from Immersion. But that's 5 heroes farming the middle lane on the side of Team Spirit.
The lack of the direct stun is very frustrating versus the Ember. Like, just something that is targeted and simple. They don't really have that.
They gotta use Alina, but you can always jump out to your Spirit right after you.
Yeah.
Will-O-Wisp, you can get out of that too. They need an Orchid or something. Like, that's the only thing, right?
Either that or like the pole, like the perfect pole or something. But again, still kind of hard to do.
Well, they're gonna have some time to get their items because it doesn't look like they're fighting these fights. We do have, I mean, VP Prodigy at some point will probably want to get some more fighting going as well. Although they don't feel the pressure yet. Like, they are pretty comfortable late game. They do have their eyes up on the Bristleback. It is a tanky hero. They're gonna go for it though. They got him cursed up. Here comes the Glimmer Cape from Misha. That was a Death Ward without vision. Alright.
It's just the taunt, I think, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we're not looking at the ultimate that went on cooldown. It definitely was the taunt. Yeah.
It's alright, Glimmer Cape revealed.
Yes. Fine. A lack of detection outed. I don't think that's gonna happen again though. Don't worry. That's like one of those mistakes. Like, it will happen once, and then it won't happen ever again.
And it was like a bounty kill. It's fine. Oh, all right. BKB into the smoke here, I think, and we're good to go. Is that a full glimmer? Or is that just a full glimmer now for the Witch Doctor too? I mean, I'm fine with smoking without Death Ward. I think you just go.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like they have the edge at the moment anyway.
Yeah, they have no vision across the river because they know that Team Spirit have just been ramming into this area, so this vision has worked out fantastically well. All those incursions were seen, but now they're going to go through and try and get some vision, try and get a quick pick here.
And they can catch Aragon. Nope, yeah, that is an easy kill there. That's a little overkill even, if you will. They're not going to catch anybody else, so everybody realizes to get the hell out of there. Maybe push out the wave a little bit if you're the Bristleback, but instant rainbow of TPs to the bottom lane. They really want to take down the Ratcho. Let's see, the Stampede also. They find him. No Glimmer Cape will keep him safe. He is cursed up, silenced up. Sure, they killed off Keeper Polite on the side as well, but they will get their main target. Dairatcho.
Expectations.
I love that rotation.
That was amazing.
Everybody, they just stampede the Witch Doctor. Poor Caudle tries to throw his life away to glimmer his bristle, and he still just dies.
That was so noble. It's like, you can live, and I shall die. And then still they place a sentry this time round.
It was true love, though. They went together. It's absolutely beautiful. Unfortunately, it's not really a beautiful game for them because it's slowly creeping up to 14 kills to 3. Not ideal would be how one would probably describe this if they were on T-Shirt. It's the high, you know, trying to keep the morale high.
I mean, if you're looking at, like, you just joined the game, right? And you see, it's 3 to 14, 8k gold, and VP Prodigy's
I closed the tab.
Yeah, it feels like a stump, or rather, it looks like a stump, but it doesn't really feel like a stump. You know what I mean?
I mean, the only reason it doesn't feel like a stomp is because VP Prodigy just haven't had to do anything.
Oh, Nina knocked to the low ground. No Glimmer Kit will keep him safe. The dust is already out. There should be enough damage to take him out, but he has got backup. DM jumping in with the stun on Immersion, rooted as well. He can't get himself out. This Ein that dies for now, but look at the return kills. Nice kill on the Bristleback. They will lose FN though with that Will-O-Wisp and Airgon helping out as well. Skywrath trying to run, getting chased. The chase potential is pretty decent as well, and he will get the Reaper side. Okay, so they tried the combo on the Centaur. Whoop, Amber Spear still around. Epileptic Kid trying to cut the wave there. He's getting chased. Does he have another Spirit available? He does.
Okay. He doesn't have any planted though, I don't think, right? Oh, I know he does.
Oh, he does. He's out. He's out. But they tried that combo with the Reaper Scythe and Laguna Blade on the Centaur, didn't work. They tried it on FN's Razor, didn't work. They finally found their target.
Dire's top tower.
Do it on the Skywrath Mage.
Yeah.
The squishiest of them all. But they got him,
though. That was 3 for 1. And it costs you your bristle, sure, but trying to get these other heroes moving is very important right now. They are jumping. Oh, that force step.
Nice. Stampede there as well. Nice stun. Doesn't hit, though. And DM realizes he messed up. He's trying to teleport out. He will be able to do so with Emergent teleporting in. Is the chase still going to be successful? I don't think so. Already out instead of being Prodigy. But I agree. If you're able to trade at all while being behind, the trade is actually in your favor.
Well, they're going to cut the lead a little bit. But that might just reinforce VP Prodigy to say, like, okay, well, that was us playing a little aggressive. I don't know why we did that. Might as well just go back to farming on our side of the river.
No. Cast a curse right there. They smoked up. They're not done. They have unfinished business.
Their cooldowns are a little easier to punish, too, because they're just a little bit longer, right? That extra, 30 seconds or so in comparison with the Scythe and the Will-O-Wisp, so...
Yeah, the only thing they're lacking right now is the Stampede.
Radiant structures.
Can't really find anybody, though. It looks like Team Spirit is very well aware that something is amiss.
They have the Atos.
Find Immersion. Immersion's able to ball out.
The slowest roll.
It worked, though. It worked.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Now the chase is on. Maybe for Dairatcho, he's looking for something. Yep, they want to go for the Centaur. It is a tricky target to go on, but maybe they feel like they have the damage. Income save with the help. What's in a name? Nice Will-O-Wisp up on 3, though, and the Stampede not available to get out. So Ein and Save will be in a world of trouble right there. The Reaper Scythe doesn't kill off the Witch Doctor, but it doesn't really matter with Airgon's right clicks coming through. So they do kill off both supports, but those both supports make sure that DM can get out safe.
Radiant's bottom tower.
They did trade quite a bit of pressure, though. The Ember Spirit was in the bottom, and then the Razor was in mid, also with a Catapult Wave, too. So, even though they got both supports, it looks like, counting Tower Gold and everything, it's actually still going to be in VP Prodigy's favor, as it goes up to 7k instead of 6k.
Oh, dear. A lot of pings.
We got a Mindbreaker, too.
Nice.
Do they have... he's got his, what, big BKB? Yeah, he still has 9 seconds, okay.
Well, it's back to farming for a little while, or perhaps back to protecting Dairatcho. 5 Heroes of Spirit are in their own jungle. Feel that their space is kind of limited at the moment. Their space to farm, that is. And they gotta stay fairly close together as well.
Yeah, they need like their little buddy next to them, either in this Glimmer or in the Will-O-Wisp when that's available. They also need to finish out these neutral items, both teams do. The Orb of Destruction now as well for DM. Maybe hand that over to Epileptic Kid?
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And we haven't really talked too much about the neutral items. Any team in particular that you feel like that won the neutral items? I like that both teams have a Philosopher's Stone. You know, that's an even trade, I find.
It's a good feel. So far, the tier 3s look pretty heavily in favor of VP Prodigy, I would say. They got the Quiver, the Mindbreaker, and the Orb. And the Orb's just like so good on Ember, right? Because you're applying the debuff to everyone who you slight. So it's not even just like you that it's helping out. You have this Razor who is this physical damage ulti that you're also jacking up with that. He's just going to get right on top of Ergon here.
Oh, in the meantime, also Ein does get a cask out. The Stampede also to put Ein in trouble and maybe to try and chase down Ergon, but they couldn't anymore.
So he had a Bottled Illusion Rune. That's like the only way he could play that far up, or else he'd have to like Yules himself, and then he probably would have got followed up on by the Atos.
I feel like there's a lot more play around the Roche pit. We said earlier that, you know, these teams don't really have your typical Roshan lineup. But it is getting to that point where the Roshan could prove to be the edge for a fight that you need.
Yeah, it's getting to the point where, like, now it doesn't matter if you have this, like, dedicated Roche hero. Once it's past, like, 25 minutes, everyone kind of has enough, like, general damage on their heroes that they can play there. So, time to start figuring out who's got the better Roche fight. Will-O-Wisp is one of these big spells now, especially like with how popular Coddle is. I think he's like the highest picked ban in this whole tournament so far. Is just he's constantly at these Roche fights, and of course the Will-O-Wisp is this big one of like you don't really want to drop it unless it's like the full commitment of the Roche. Like you got to be sure that this is the last one. You can't let them leave. And oh man, that was half his HP.
Yeah, he did. I mean, that wasn't like that. That's a bit worrying, actually. That's like feeling like time for a bracer territory for me.
That's more like you hit up that bristle like, yo, you see that craggy coat, dude? Do you really need that? Do you need to fit a craggy coat over those spikes?
Oh, this bristle, by the way, the bristleback, yeah, that craggy coat is not saving you from all that magical damage coming through from the Skywrath as well. And they get immersion on the top, so that's 3 heroes just like that. Like, do you go for Roche or do you just go for the tier 2 and maybe even a tier 3? See if you can force out a buyback.
Probably tier 2 and then Roche, I would think. Seems pretty safe to me.
Yeah.
It takes so long to get to Roche now. Like when you control the outpost like that and you take this tier 2. But it looks like the wave was a bit delayed here. So that's going to slow them down.
Yep. Sad times. I must say though, that was like, that makes me a little bit worried for how this game is going to end. Because they do need to save your body system on Team Spirit, and they didn't really do that there. And then you have one person die, and then another person will die. And it's not really a fight. It's more like, oh shoot, you know, we're in the wrong place, wrong time, and suddenly we lost the game. That's a little worrisome.
I think part of it is just that like their whole strategy feels like it had to be centered around this bristle, and he's just not huge enough. Like it's like a Sven, where if you're not like 2 or 3k ahead, you don't really feel that strong on the hero. And
so what does he need to have? Like, is there an item that will say, okay, you know, once he finishes his BKB that he's building towards, then he'll be that power that Team Spirit needs?
I mean, it's kind of more like it's not really an item by item thing. It's more of just a relative thing of just like this hero's just all about being bigger than the other team. And just like, you know, you just can't fight them, right? So if they ever get ahead, if they're just like constantly staying that one item ahead of you, it just feels harder and harder to play your hero. Like, I do like that he's going in here for this Ancient Sack and Bounty Hunter.
They know that the Bristleback is here, and they find him again with the Mystic Flare and the Curse. Yeah, I mean, if he had a BKB, he would have lived.
Well, now's a good time to pick these stacks as your Ancients for you.
Oh, they're not done yet. Immersion was close by. I've discovered the buddy system, at least Immersion is normally close to the Bristleback, which has not really helped him save his life, unfortunately. But that ward again that you pointed out earlier, once again, make sure that VP Prodigy is like, oh shoot, that's a Bristleback on our side, we can kill him, and they do, and it's just coordination and easy kills.
Stay away from our Ancients. That's just like all it is, over and over.
Definitely.
But yeah, they're not going to be able to fight this. No chance there. And with the AC, they've got a Dragon Scale in there too. Roche feeling the burn.
They're not taking it very fast though, but I guess it's too late anyway. As you said, it's a long way to the Roche pit.
Yeah, but what about this Spirit Vessel degen of 20% really hurting Roche's ability here? We got new tactics versus the Roche.
That's true. New strategies being formed. All right, with the Aegis, how confident do you feel VP Prodigy is make a push for it?
Should be a pretty easy tier 3 minimum, if not, I would guess full set of racks, frankly. Unless they just, you know, there's a high ground possibility. They have this really annoying lineup for the single hero deletion. which can be kind of frustrating because it's an 11k lead, but if you just scythe Laguna someone, then maybe you just drop 15k off their team. So then,
well, we've seen a couple of Scythe Lagunas. I am not too confident in the killing ability from that.
It was a big if. All right, if was the key word.
Okay. We do have everybody defended tier 2.
That's what you gotta look for. Is the big single kill.
Is that really where this game is at the moment, where Team Spirit is so far behind that they have to rely on those ifs?
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I don't really see a point where they ever feel like they're going to be ahead again. I just feel like nothing on their team is feeling better. Without this bristleback being huge, it's like, how can you really see Alina like mopping up an entire fight by herself like an Ember can or a Razor can? Like, they just don't really have the heroes for it.
Well, Smoke Gang's coming out.
Bad.
For target. Razor already in there. Stampede as well, trying to get away. They kill off the courier on the Razor and take the Aegis as well. Nice cast though in the meantime. Bristleback, he looks to be a dead one. The Will-O-Wisp not able to help out, and that is a lot of damage coming through from the Keeper of the Light, but it is not enough anymore to save the Bristleback. I think with the Bristleback dead, even with the trade being in favor of Spirit number-wise, I think you're still happy with that as VP Prodigy. I guess you lose the Aegis as well. Maybe
yeah, it would give me some second thoughts. I'd be like, oh, well, this wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be. Because that Coddle ult, man, it ruins everything. It's so frustrating to play against. Like, your Razor died. His first death went by. It's super aggressive, though. He just, like, ran in.
Yeah.
I guess he was trying to force the Will-O-Wisp early, which he kind of did, but it was still a difficult engagement, and it wasn't the best terrain either, it feels like, for the fight. However, they did leave the entire creep wave, just keep hitting that tier 2 tower for some reason. So they still got a lot of value out of that.
I mean, silver linings. That's nice. But they didn't take the tier 2 tower. And we thought the Aegis was going to be able to get a tier 3 tower for Prodigy. Didn't even take the tier 2. So now they gotta wait again until the next Roche. Well, maybe not.
Depends on how many pickoffs they can get with this Aghanim Scepter on Epileptic Kid.
Yeah. You feel like that's gonna up the tempo for his play a lot?
Well, at this point, it's Team Spirit, like the way that we're kind of framing their team and how the Bristle's behind, you have to like augment your game plan to something else, and currently the only option is a lot of split pushing to try and keep this pressure off your base and kind of release some valves, and the Aghanim Scepter is super good versus that because like just the range is kind of stupid.
Does look like Team Spirit wants to make it.
Might want to move down to their tier 3 bottom though.
I mean, yeah, they need to, like, someone does. But they just want to take control out of their triangle, and hope that someone walks up high ground to die.
Under attack.
VP Prodigy is kind of aware of what's happening though, even though they don't have vision up that high ground. It's kind of the only place at the moment that they could be.
It's such a funny position. The whole Radiant team just chilling up here while their buildings are being hit, but maybe again kind of this like desperation measure. Plus it is bounty timing, so trying to get those all sorted for themselves. See if they can make it to tier 4 perhaps. Another 5 minutes. Try and even out the game a bit with some more neutral items.
Yeah.
Could say the same thing with VP Prodigy though. They might just be thinking like, okay, well 5 minutes will mean more neutral items, and next Roche will almost certainly be up by then, so why don't we just wait for that? Oh god, he's so slippery on that Ember. He doesn't leave any possibility of death.
But there's still not a good way to lock him down, right? Am I missing something? Like there's...
Well, even if he just left it for like half a second, at least like, I don't know, there's something. But he doesn't even give him the option.
He can get out.
Yeah, he's got the BKB, so he should be fine too, no matter what happens. The only theoretical thing would be like some sort of a Necrophos play, like an Invis Rune or something, if he relaxes too much.
Well, you gotta get lucky with the runes for that, and more ifs added to the pile of Team Spirit. Well, everybody is still watching their Rat Show far from the high ground. Seems to be their preferred place. And all the while, VP Prodigy just keeping the pressure on, keeping the waves pushed on the middle lane, on the bottom lane, and having full control over the Radiant jungle.
Yeah, full pressure bottom is the best case scenario, because that's the thing that just gives you Roche really easily when you're dire. You just want to like make sure that you can at least see one hero having to push back this bottom wave.
They left their place. They left their high ground.
double catapult waves were too tempting.
Does make sure that VP Prodigy is changing from bottom lane to mid lane. Doesn't really matter to them. They'll continue farming. We're at an impasse, as they call it, Trent. It seems like both teams are not really looking for fights unless the enemy team messes up.
Both teams are looking for that bad fight from their opponent. They're just looking to capitalize on someone just getting bored, basically. And be like, nah, we can kill him. You know, the
Who
Owen
loses
effect.
their patience first?
Owen, I think is the right answer. That's every single game. Heard it way too many times. In this game, it's probably, I feel like it's the Necrophos, because he's like the lowest of the cores, and he's got this scythe, and he's like, yo, guys, one Laguna, they're just dead. That's who I would blame.
Yeah, he just wants to fight. I would say also Ergon, because he also wants to fight. Like, he wants to set the tempo high. That's his hero. That's every hero that he plays is one of those tempo setters. Ooh, we do have a smoke coming from PP Prodigy, though.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Maybe they can kill off the Necrophos. It is Necrophos and Bristle that are closest by. The only one far away is Ergon, actually. I think they can blow up a Bristle like that. They're gonna try.
They probably think the Coddle's like way closer, I would guess, or something. Because, yeah, he probably could have died there, but they probably thought they were like smoked right behind him or something, kind of like down on that low ground, by the way he was standing. They're going back in, though.
Yeah, that is, this time with the smoke already gone. They're looking for that pickup. They find that Coddle. He did get the Will-O-Wisp out, but that's being killed off now as well. Nice catch between the Bristle and the Necrophos as well. Can't really do that much immersion. He'll be the target first. VP Prodigy then move on to their next target, perhaps, or yeah, their next target is going to be Aragon. He was on the side. He was able to kill off the Witch Doctor, but will now be the target of VP Prodigy's hatred as they move from one target to the next. Get the Bristle back as well, as if it's nothing. Two heroes left alive because Coddle bought back. Misha now the only one left standing after buying back. And his tier 3 tower under attack. Right side, the wave is all the way at the river, so that will hold them off for a little bit longer. That was a disaster of a fight for Spirit.
That's the best feeling when you're playing support and one of their big cores just targets you the entire fight, doesn't really stop you doing what you were doing anyway, and then, like, sure, you die, but then they just get blown up by your 3 heroes that are mopping up the rest of the fight. Just perfect play there on the side of VP Prodigy, no real concerns. Dropping the Coddle ult was pretty rough. He knew he had to because he wouldn't be able to get back into, like, the secondary part of the fight fast enough, but that thing just died right away.
Yeah, the supports just could hit it, and they weren't really slowed down by that. In the meantime, Immersion jumping forward. They already took the rack. Silence up there on Epileptic Kid, but he has the Echo Shell. He's fine for now, and they might actually dive a little bit too far. Epileptic Kid still in very deep. Will jump himself out, just like well, DM was trying to teleport out, but
the sidestep, though.
He did have the sidestep, making sure that Immersion is in a world of hate there from VP Prodigy. That's unfortunate for him, but that is super well played by DM, who's gonna live because he's super tanky anyway. That's a tip.
That was the best tip of the game. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, tip him back. Immersion realizes like, oh yeah, that was pretty good.
Those are the type of interactions that I'm like, yes, good Dota being played here. That's, you know, there's just presence of mind to not go all hands off the keyboard when you're trying to teleport out, but this is sidestep when needed. And they take one lane of racks, well, half a lane, if you will, but the most important one. Do you feel like that's enough of that fight? VP Prodigy should be happy with that, or could they have gotten more?
You're fine. I mean, this game is it's a slow burn to the victory. Everything one step at a time. Get your Aegis, get your cheese, get your next round of neutral items. Just don't feed. That's pretty much all you have to worry about right now. If you're Radiant right now, sure, you can't contest Roche, but you should definitely be hitting neutral creeps. I guess they're going to try and contest Roche. I don't really see a likelihood. Oh, Ember's in.
Yeah, they want to fight this. Aina's going to be the first target, but he gets a cast off perfectly up on both Bristle and Immersion, and they'll die straight off the bat. And in the meantime, in the backlines, FN made sure that Bristle back, or sorry, well, Coddle dies as well. There you go. That was terrible for Team Spirit. That cast bounce was the support dream there for Ein. And that is it. That's GG. That was the nail in the coffin and then some.
Oh, stomped.
Oi.
Man, DM was really hitting the BMs this game. Kind of.
Kind of.
Yeah, I would call that pretty stomped. Just like, it felt like Team Spirit, again, were just like running into the wall.